So let's continue with the rule number 5 up to rule number 8. So rule number 5, the game. Section number 1, choice of turn at a bat. Sorry for the dog noises. The choice of the first at last bat in the inning shall be decided by a toss of coin, unless otherwise stated in the rules of the organization under which the schedule of the games is being played. Section number 2, fitness of ground. The fitness of the ground for a game shall be decided solely by the plate umpire. Next, we have section number 3, the regulation game. A regulation game shall consist of 7 innings. First innings, a full 7 innings need to be played if the team second at bat scores more runs in 6 innings or before the third out in the last of 7 innings. Second, a game that is tied at the end of the 7 innings shall be continued by playing additional innings or until one side has scored more runs than other at the end of a complete inning or until the team second at bat has scored more runs in other half of the inning before the third out is made. So third, a game called by the umpire shall be regulation if 5 or more complete innings have been played or if the team second at bat has scored more runs than other teams has scored in 5 or more innings. The umpire is empowered to call a game at any time because of darkness, rain, fire, panic, or other cause which puts the patrons or player in peril. Section number 4, winning of game. The winner of the game shall be the team that scores more runs in a regulation game. The score of a called regulation game shall be scored at the end of the last complete inning, unless the team second at bat has scored more runs than the first team at bat in the complete inning. In this case, the score shall be that of the incomplete inning. Next, we have the section number 5, run ahead rule. A run ahead rule shall be used at all tournaments and championships. Section number 6, tiebreaker. Starting with the top of the 8th inning and each half inning thereafter, the offensive team shall begin its turn at bat with the player who is scheduled to bat 9th, sorry for the dog noises, 9th and FP, 10th and SP, 11 and SP. Excuse me, I need to pause this. Sorry for the interruption. So, section number 6, tiebreaker. Starting with the top of the 8th inning, and each half inning thereafter, the offensive team shall begin its turn at bat with a player who is scheduled to bat 9th, 9th in FP, 10th in SP, and 11 in SP with an EP, or 12 in co-ed SP with EPS. In the respective half inning being placed on second base, the player who is running can be substituted in accordance with the substitution rules. Section number 7, 1 run shall be scored each time a runner legally touches first and second, third bases and home plate before the third out of the inning. So section number 8, charge conference. Offensive conferences, there shall be 1 charge offensive conference in an inning. Second, the defensive conference, there shall only be 3 charge defensive conference in 7-inning game. For every inning beyond 7, there shall be 1 charge conference per inning. Next, we have rule number 6, pitching regulation or fast pitch only. Section number 1, preliminaries. Before commencing the delivery or pitch, the pitcher may not take the pitching position on or near the pitcher's plate without having the ball in his position. It also shall not be considered in the pitching position unless the catcher is in position to receive the pitch. Must have both feet in the ground within the 61.0 centimeter or the 24 inches in length of the pitcher's plate. Section number 2, starting the pitch. The pitch starts when one hand is taken off the ball or the pitcher makes any motion that is part of his winds up. Section number 3, the pitcher must not, section number 3, legal delivery. The pitcher must not make any motion to pitch without immediately delivering the ball to the batter. The pitcher must not use pitching motion in which, after having the ball in both hands in the pitching position, he removes one hand from the ball, takes a backward and forward swing, and returns the ball both hands in front of the body. Next, we have the section number 4, defensive positioning. The pitcher shall not deliver a pitch unless all defensive players except the catcher, who must be in the catcher's back, are positioned in fair territory. A fielder shall not take a position in the batter's line of vision or with deliberate unsportsmanlike intent or act in a manner to distract the batter. Section number 5, foreign substance. No member of the defensive team shall at any time during the game be permitted to use any foreign substance on the ball. A pitcher who licks his fingers must wipe off his fingers before making contact with the ball. Section number 6, the catcher. The catcher must remain within the catcher's box until the pitch is released. Shall return the ball directly to the pitcher after each pitch, including after a foul ball. Next, we have the section number 7, throwing to a base. The pitcher, after he has taken the pitching position, shall not throw a base during a live ball while his foot is in contact with the pitcher's plate. If the throw from pitcher's plate occurs during a live ball appeal play, the appeal is cancelled. Next, we have the section number 9, warm-up pitches. At the beginning of the first inning for both teams, or when a pitcher relieves another, not more than 1 minute may be used to deliver not more than 5 pitches to catcher or another team at the start of the half inning after the first inning of the pitchers. From the previous inning shall have 1 minute to throw up to 3 warm-up pitches. If 1 minute has expired, the umpire shall restrict the pitcher to 1 warm-up pitch. Next, we have the section number 10, no pitch. No pitch shall be declared when the pitcher pitches during a suspension of play. Second, the pitcher attempts a quick return of the ball, and a runner is called out for leaving a base prior to pitcher releasing the pitch. For the section number 11, drop ball. If the ball slips from the pitcher's hand during his delivery, a ball is declared on the batter, and the ball will remain in play, and the runners may advance at their own risk. Next, we have the section number 12, illegal pitcher. A pitcher who has been declared an illegal pitcher as a result of the team exceeding the charge conference limit may not return to the pitching position at any time for the remainder of the game. Next, we have so that is ruling number, I think I'm done here. Yeah, I'm done. Excuse me for interruptions. So next we have the rule number 7, excuse for the dog's noises in the background. Wait, I will pause it. So, again, rule number 7, batting. Section number 1, the on-deck batter. The on-deck batter at the start of an inning is the lead-off batter who must remain on his on-deck circle until the called up to the batter's backs. Once an inning has started, it is the offensive player who is in the batting lineup is the next player to enter the batter's backs. I'm sorry for the dog's noises in the background. Section number 2, the batting order. The batting order of each team must be on the score sheet lineup card and must be delivered before the game by the manager or captain to the official scorer in the plate umpire. He shall submit it to the inspection of the manager or captain of the opposing team. Excuse me. Section number 3, the batting position. The batter must take his position in the batter's box within 10 seconds after the umpire has declared play ball. Next, we have the section number 4. A strike is called by the umpire. For FP only, when any part of legally pitched ball enters the strike zone before touching the ground and at which the batter does not swing. And that's for the SP only. For each legally pitched ball entering the strike zone before touching the ground and at which the batter does not swing. Exception, it is not a strike, but if the pitch ball touches home plate and it's not swung at. I'm sorry for the dog's noises again. It is. Next, we have section number 5. A ball is called by the umpire. I'm going to raise my voice for you to hear it. So, section number 5, a ball is called by the umpire. For FP only, for each legally pitched ball that does not enter strike zone or touches the ground before reaching home plate and is not swung at, and touches home plate in which the batter does not swing. Next, we have section number 6, the batter is out. When the third strike is swung at and the ball touches any part of the batter's person, not swung at, and the pitch ball hits the batter while the pitch is in the strike zone. Next, we have rule number 8. Rule number 8, batter, runner, and runner. Section number 1, the batter becomes a batter runner when legally hits a fair or foul ball. For FP only, when the catcher fails to catch the third strike before the ball touches the ground and there are less than 2 outs and first base is unoccupied, or there are 2 outs, this is known as the third strike rule. Next, we have rule number 2. Batter, runner is out. For flex player only, when the catcher drops the third strike and the batter runner is legally touched with the ball while off base or thrown out prior to reaching first base. When a fielder legally catches a fly ball before it touches the ground or any object or a person other than a defensive player. And lastly, when after hitting a fair ball is tagged while off base or thrown out prior to reaching first base. Next, we have the section number 3. The batter runner is not out. When a fielder makes a play on a batter runner while using an illegal glove, effect section number 3, the manager of the offended team has the option of taking the result of the play or having the player resume batting, assuming that the ball and strike count prior to the pitch, with the other runners return to the base held of time of the pitch. Section number 4, touching bases in legal order. Runners must touch bases in legal order, that is first, second, third in home plate. Exception, if a runner is obstructed, sorry for the dog's noises, obstructed at a base preventing the runner from touching the base. First, when a runner is returning to the base left before a caught fly ball is first touched, or the missed base while the ball is in play, he must touch the bases in reverse order. Effect section number 4A, the ball is in play and runners must return with liability to be put out. Next, we have section number 5. Runners are entitled to advance with liability to be put out. For the flex player only, when the ball leaves the pitcher's hand on his delivery. For the SP only, when a pitch ball is batted on a thrown ball or fair batted ball is not blocked. Next, we have section number 6A. Runner forfeits his exemption from liability to be put out. If at any time he fails to touch a base, he is entitled to be before attempting to make the next base. Exception, if a runner is obstructed at a base, preventing the runner from touching the base. If other overrunning over first base, he attempts to continue to second base. Or also, if after dislodging a base, he attempts to continue the next base. Section number 7, runners are entitled to advance without liability to be put up. A. When forced to vacate a base because the batter was awarded a base on balls, the effect is section number 7A. FP for FP only, the ball remains in play unless it is blocked. Any runner affected is entitled to one base and may advance further at his own risk if the ball is in play. For the SP only, the ball is dead. Next, we have section number 8. A runner must return to his base. A runner must return to his base but need to touch the intervening bases. Like when a batted ball is declared foul, when the umpire declares the ball to have been illegally batted, when a batter runner is called out for interference. Next, we have section number 9, the runner is out. When, while running to any base in regular or reverse order, he runs more than 0.91 meters or 3 feet from the base path to avoid being touched by the ball in his hands of a fielder. When while the ball is in play and he is not contact with a base, he is legally touched with the ball in his hand of a fielder. When on force play, a fielder, while holding the ball, contacts the base to which the runner is forced to advance, touches the ball to a base before the runner reaches the base. Next, we have section number 10, the runner is not out. When he runs behind or in front of the fielder and outside the base path in order to avoid interfering with a fielder attempting to field the batted ball in the base path. When he does not run in direct line to the base, provided the fielder in direct line does not have the ball in his position. Next, when more than one fielder attempts to field a batted ball and the runner comes in contact with the one who, in the umpire's judgment, was not entitled to field the ball. So let's continue later, the rule number 9 up to 12. So